Honestly, I've learned a lot this year. The team lead position is always one that demands that you kind of look at a new side of the team. And this year, more than ever, I feel like the responsibilities that I've been a part of and the great leadership team that I've been on, we really had to change our approach. I've been lucky that I benefited from having a really talented group of individuals around me, whether that was our coaches, whether that was our other leads, or whether that was just the team in general. But this year I really had to rely on delegation. There was more to be accomplished than what I expected or what I perceived to be typical. So I really had to look to those talented individuals, like I mentioned, and trust them to get stuff accomplished. And I'm extremely fortunate that they did, and they so often exceeded my expectations. Beyond just the delegation and the basics of leadership, personally, I had to learn to be really adaptable. Our situation, as I'm sure everyone was aware, was changing quickly. We've had 3 different plans for how this build season would go, and even as the build season progressed, we've changed almost on a daily basis. Our expectations of what we get out of the season and how we would accomplish those goals. So for me, it's really been about rolling with the punches. I've said that frequently to the leadership team, just to the team in general, that we needed to roll with the punches this year and that eventually we'd end up at the other side with something that we were proud of. And I think we did a really good job of doing that. I was always involved on the logistics side, especially in years past, but as I took a step back, I realized that a lot more goes into it on the inside than even what I foresaw when I was working closely with the lead, that there are a lot more hours put in at home to make sure that everyone understood what the goal was and to make sure that everyone was properly delegated the amount of work that was respectful of their skill and also that they were capable of accomplishing. So a lot of time got put in behind the scenes. This year we worked with the boosters a lot, even more so than we did in a typical season, and that's a relationship we're going to look to use as we move forward. But I had to adapt how I was approaching problems to a team dynamic in a lot of situations, and I think that team dynamic offered a lot of exciting opportunities to have a unique approach and to also to be a little bit more productive in certain circumstances. So working with another group of people, whether that was the boosters or whether that was the leadership team, forced me to be a little bit more, or put more foresight into my actions and how they would impact the team in a larger way moving forward. I think for me, it's that this is a team of a lot of really highly talented people. So it's every time that you're given a piece of responsibility, whether that's on a robot, whether that's planning some event, whether it's whatever it looks like for your situation, you need to do it better than anybody in the history of the team has done that. And obviously that's a little bit oxymoronic. That's not really meant to be taken seriously, but that's the type of effort you should be putting forward in my mind, is that you should be trying to be as successful as possible. What you expect of the task, you need to exceed your own expectations, because if you do so, most likely you'll exceed the expectations of those people around you. And that's how you gain respect, that's how eventually you'll step up into leadership roles, and that's how you'll be the most productive and most enjoyable experience on the team.
I decided to join TechHOUNDS because both of my brothers joined us and they told me a lot of great stuff about the club. So I wanted to join, and that influenced me to join PR because I love digital work and photography. I think my biggest takeaway is that I've learned a lot and that this was more of like a learning season because it is not normal and it's not what a normal season would look like. But I've learned a lot and I know what to expect for next year. I'm most looking forward to competitions so I can hang out with more people in other divisions, and yeah.
Over time, my experience changed because I just got to work with so many different people on the same projects, but just I learned whole different things and different styles of how to accomplish things.
Our division was super lucky in that all of my members are on one cohort, so that I essentially get an extra work day. But it was super nice so that we don't have any miscommunication in between cohorts and that everybody's working on the same day. Everything went super well this season. We were really able to hit the ground running and work off of what we did during the preseason and just launch that straight into build season. You belong. you're there, you're here, you know you're supposed to be here, and that this is your people, you know?
Thought it sounded interesting, and my friends did too. What did I learn? They taught us some code, like Java, and we got to incorporate that into the robots that we're using. We also learned some things about electrical and programming equipment. I mean, I was originally looking forward to the competitions, but it looks like we're not going to be able to do that in person this year, so I guess I'll look forward to that if it ends up being in person eventually.
My experience has changed a lot. It went from learning from the old juniors and seniors in my freshman and sophomore year to teaching myself. And that's not to say that I know everything, because every single day I learn something new about programming, and especially with programming in FRC. So I think that I have evolved as a teacher and as a student. My favorite part of TechHOUNDS is just learning more how to code, because I find computers very fascinating, and the robots especially too. And to learn just in part of what makes a robot do the things that it does, I think is really cool. I have to say that this year wasn't a normal year. TechHOUNDS is usually a lot more fun, and we usually get a lot more done. For next year, I'd say take initiative, because it's difficult for the older kids like me to come out and find you and tell you to do something. Come to us and ask, what can I do? And I think you'll get a lot more out of this club than you got this year.
It's definitely been very difficult, especially because we are basically at like half manpower each day. But we've been able to figure out how to work around that, been able to figure out how to coexist, work together while separate. And it's been tough, you know. When we have a completely different section, a completely different group of people, it's difficult to figure out what exactly happened. But the members have done really well and figured out how to, you know, cope with that, how to figure out what exactly happened the previous day. And so it's been actually not too bad. It's been pretty smooth so far. I think a lot of things went well. I mean, we got a lot of different stuff done. We got a lot of projects done that I wanted to, a lot of little training tasks that would have been very difficult. It was definitely very difficult this year, not being able to interface with them directly every week. But so far it's been going pretty well. We have a lot of stuff to do in these next couple of weeks. We've got a couple of deadlines to finish, but so far it's definitely been going very well. I guess it would just be like, keep working hard. I think I'm proud of the way that I've gone to this position and how I've worked hard for my freshman year. I was definitely a little bit immature, so probably dial back that immaturity, grow up a little, but other than that, I think I'm pretty happy about the way I turned out today.
Well, the Boosters, we've always had a supportive group of families, and a few years back, some of the parents decided they wanted to make it an organized group, and so that's what our Boosters are. It's a group of organized families that are functioning for the first time this year in 2020 as a fully organized corporation to support our team. According to our bylaws, we support 3 areas of the team. We support the financials and running the financial portion of the team. We also work on getting volunteers for the team when we need families to come in to help support those areas. And last but not least, we also support the medium of exchange for information between our families and the team, so that everyone together can support an excellent team. Some things that we've accomplished this year, the first one would be that we transitioned finances from the team to the boosters, so we've been managing those this year. We've developed a website. We've organized a Google Drive for communications within our boosters board. And I believe we've also grown a strong foundation this year so that in the future we can make the team even more beneficial to benefit from that didn't make sense. Okay, I'm going to start back. So then, okay, so our already talked about finances. That didn't make sense. Can you erase that one? Besides finances and our website and organizing our Google Drive, another area of accomplishments this year that I feel like is willing to share with you is that we developed a strong foundation to make our team even more efficient, to benefit, and that thanks to all the TechHound families, our students, our mentors, and our coaches, we've all worked together to be able to develop this partnership. Our goal this year was to piggyback on the team's goal of team spirit, and it is our hopes this year that that we've established lines of communication so that in future years that team spirit can continue to grow in no matter what environment we're given.
What is the future of the Boosters?
Well, this was an important building year for us, and it would be my hopes for our board and for our team in 21-22 next year that we could implement everything that we would have hoped to have implemented this year. However, I just wanted to emphasize to everyone that we've been so grateful for our first official year in existence and grateful for the opportunities we have had this year. So thank you very much to everyone.
I decided to join TechHounds because I heard about it in 8th grade from my robotics teacher, and it sounded really interesting to me. So I knew about it, and so I just reached out to Mrs. Early, and she kind of helped me join. And it was really fun for me, and I was just really looking forward to it. It's really technical. During robotics and stuff, we were just kind of messing around, trying to learn, which we are still doing in Robot Ops. But the difference is that now we have a much more set goal, and we have to work together more as a team instead of individually, which is actually really cool because it helps, you know, just keep you communicating and working together. I'm looking forward to competition season just because I don't understand it as much, and I'm looking forward to learn more about exactly what it means to compete in a robotics competition and like how we will be able to win.
Well, when I first joined TechHounds, I was a rookie looking around for places to help out and asking people if they needed anything because I could, you know, I don't know, make a little part. But now I'm kind of helping other people help out, and I'm designing more important things and just getting more involved with the leadership, and it's really cool. I have two parts, working with the awesome team and seeing the robot finally just compete. Well, if you're not sure, if you're thinking, maybe I don't like this, maybe this, maybe that, just give it a try, you know? Even if it's your second try. If you don't have a definitive no, you might come back and find something new that you didn't see before, and you might love it.
Well, we split each division, each cohort into their own little mini project. So one cohort was working on our climber, and the other cohort was working on our intake and hopper as well. And that worked really well because they were able to work with each other and not have to really feel this big separation by cohorts that it was.
What do you think went well or not well this season?
I think we did a great job getting everybody introduced onto the team, especially our freshmen, and trained on all of our tools. We had a lot of extra time on our hands due to not having to build an entire robot from scratch. So I think that that all went really well, and getting everyone educated and making sure everyone felt comfortable in our space. If anything could have gone better, I would say not much. I'm pretty happy with what came out of this season. I mean, of course, I wish that there were in-person competitions, but we still had a really good time and made a lot of what the time we had.
If you could give your freshman self any advice, what would it be?
I just say to be confident, be safe, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
I decided to join TechHOUNDS because I thought it would give me a good chance to look at how coding works in a bigger field than just like websites. I wanted to see how it could be applied to things like robots as well. Okay, my biggest takeaway from TechHOUNDS is how like a lot of different parts can come together to build something really great, like the robot in the end product on a normal year. In the future for TechHOUNDS, I'm excited to get to see how it would work in a normal year and how everything would come together. Yeah.
When I first joined the team, I was a rookie, obviously, and I was like in 2017, and I was pretty shy and not confident. But now, as a senior in 2021, I think that I've grown like myself. Like I'm more confident, and I know a lot more about robotics than when I first joined. I also made a lot more connections with people in the club. I know how to like talk to people. I think my favorite part is the competitions. So most of the time we sit on the sidelines and watch robots, but you can also go to the pits and see other teams from around Indiana and at larger competitions around the world and see what they did differently and see how they looked at the game. So I think looking at other teams and seeing what they did is also a big part of the game. So I would say this club, TechHOUNDS, will help you not just in technical skills of robotics, but also become more of a leader, and you'll learn a lot more than just the technical aspects of the club.
Our division got a little bit lucky, and we had a lot of our technical people in one cohort and a lot of our creative people in the other, so we just played to our strengths and divided up the work that way. I think the one thing that didn't go well is that IT didn't have as much to do. We didn't really have a scouting system to make, but we had a lot of other ways to help the team. And we're working on new projects that will hopefully carry on next year when we get our competition back. It would probably be to get involved sooner. There's a lot of stuff to do on the team, and I wish I had started doing a lot more, or building a lot more technical skills a little bit earlier.
I decided to join TechHOUNDS because I have done their camps over the summer and I enjoyed them. The biggest takeaway from TechHOUNDS has been the use of hardware in a shop. Looking forward to actually going to a competition.
I'd say I've definitely, I've learned a lot of new skills, and so I've definitely advanced into more kind of more leadership positions as opposed to in the division. So like I'm in charge a lot more of designing and saying, okay, we're going to be building this, so we need you to go make this part, as opposed to like being the one told, okay, we need you to make this part. I really love the competitions. Those are really fun, but I also really enjoy just being on the team and working with all the people in my division, because they're really, it's a great group of people, and we have a fun time putting fun time. I would say, first off, that this year is totally weird, and I would definitely, if you're unsure, wait, and you should try next year, where we're going to do a lot more meetings, we'll do a lot more stuff, and it'll be a lot different, and so I would definitely say wait till next year. But I would also say This was your first year. You had to learn all the ropes, learn how to do a bunch of different things. And so next year you'll be coming in with a lot of prior knowledge, and it'll be a lot different.
Our division was separated fairly evenly, so each cohort just worked in a small group. That is what usually happens during construction, so the groups were just chosen for us instead of by who we work with best. We got about the same amount of work done as we would given the amount of time we had. Watch what the lead's doing more closely to learn how different things work and pay more attention to the other divisions and what they are doing to help the team.